Welcome to Vetivursday on the 2018 Lather Games. The blade I'll be putting in my razor is this one, which is a PolSilver. And the razor I'll be using is a Wolfman Guerilla, which I really enjoy. It's mild yet also a good cutter. And sometimes it's a little irritating to put the blade on those tiny little posts. A little cumbersome, but you really do get used to it. And the good thing is that when it locks down, it is perfect alignment. You don't have to worry about that at all. And there we go, all there is to it. Not that hard. I have this Mongoose handle on it. It's a little too long, but it's about the style that I might be looking for this razor head. The one that came with the head, it's a terrific handle. It's just a little too thick for me. I'm going for something maybe along the lines of this width right here. I think it works a little bit better with the slimness, the slim nature of the head. Wolfman Guerilla. And here's the Arkadia soap sample that I have. This is Stirling, and it's got Vetiver in there, a big way. And here's my lather bowl. I'll be putting a quarter of a teaspoon of soap in there. And then here's my brush. This is a Mozingo handle, and this knot is a grade A knot from the Golden Nib Silvertip 24 millimeter. I will be soaking it for just a few minutes. And then we have a sample of Fine Accoutrements Clean Vetiver for the post shave. Very nice that I had a Vetiver on hand as a little sample. I'll be using this guy to regulate how much water I add to the lather, and a quarter teaspoon of the Stirling has been put into the lather bowl. And so that part is ready to go. All right, I'm gonna rinse give my face a rinse. Some guys do this really long pre-shave routine, and that is cool. Someday I may do that. But I just do basically 2 rinses with water. I use lukewarm water. This location has pretty soft water, so that's nice for lathers. There are a few lathers that are picky about the water type. Slaying as much water as I can out of the brush, and then start up. This brush is on the chopping block for me. A little too scrubby. Now, it's still kind of young, probably 22 uses maybe. Don't know about that. And so I don't know if that's something that will change over time. I'm not sure. Well, half teaspoon of water in here. Really wake it up. That's a good scent. Kind of a cologne scent. Very, very nice. When I first started looking at Stirling samples, I was not attracted to the cologne type scents. It just wasn't what I was kind of currently seeking. I was looking for kind of characteristic, scents with lots of character, like leather, tobacco, those kind of scents. And Midnight Stag, those kind. And Arkadia seemed like one of the good options from Stirling based on the description. I did put it to the side because it was kind of a cologne type scent. I'm glad I woke it up. I do actually have a full tub of this. But the 2-ounce sample that they send you from Stirling, it is probably enough to fill these little film canister bottles. Now, hey, I'm aging myself because I have some of those things hanging around. Probably a whole host of people that don't know what the heck those are. I read on a blog post or something that either Kodak or Canon, you know, one of those big camera manufacturers, had just quit production on their last model of film camera. How about that? Sometimes those old technologies can stick around because they offer some kind of advantage. Like those big box cameras with the bellows and stuff, those are kind of have a nostalgic feel. But I don't think the the 35mm point and shoots and SLRs offer too much. I mean, especially compared to the digital world. So we've got 2 teaspoons of water in this mix right now. Add another half. This lather looks great. Show it to you here. Nice sheen on it there. I think I did run a test on the Stirling, and I saw that it did take the whole 1/4 teaspoon. At least that particular one did. I would imagine there's not too much difference unless they've kind of had to alter their formulation over time. Also, I might have tried that at a location that had hard water, so I might get more lather with this water here. Looking terrific. And who knows, this is where I'm going to start paying very close attention to the soap. Make sure we don't over water it. Don't know too much about Vetiver. I did look it up one time. I think it's a plant or something, plant-based type of scent. I think it's maybe kind of grassy related. You see that shine on my forehead there? Let's see if we can back that off a little bit. All right, quick finger test. Yep, I think we're ready to go. Nice slick soap. And now for water pass number 2 on my face. Just to kind of wet down those hairs. Now I'm going to just do a quick dab on my face there to just in case I maybe mixed this a little too thin. This brush is a little too scrubby for me. I mentioned that already. Put a little my brush. I mean, it's a good brush. I'd take it if there weren't any other good options out there. Feels soft. Right now it's not really feeling too scrubby. I don't feel the soft tips quite as much as I do like with my Whip Dog Silvertip brush. And so that's kind of my comparison there. So since that one's out there, it makes me, you know, not want to have a brush in my inventory. I probably always would reach for the Whip Dog instead of this one. But you know, it's also a new knot, so we'll give it a chance. All right. Going on 1 day shave, 1 day's worth of growth. Oh, that's a nice cutter, smooth. There were some razors that the PolSilver did not perform well for me on. But in, I think, the majority of cases, it did very well. I'm sorry, as I was talking there, my brain switched over to talk about the razor instead of the blade. So I'll finish that sentence based on the blade. The majority of situations, it did pretty well. I really like this head. It can chop down, 3 days of growth without a problem. Just always very comfortable, while also offering some good cutting. There were definitely some guys online who, sold those pretty quickly, mentioning how mild it was for them. That's all right. That's all right. We'll rinse. Very, very good slickness there. Man, that's good stuff. This is a level of, slickness here that I think it's the difference between it and the big wigs like Holy Cow and Barrister and Man and stuff. I think the difference is just so minimal that you can almost just pick it based on scent, Who's got a scent that you really enjoy? Now, obviously, this doesn't compare to the Reserve base from Barrister and Man. That's super silky smooth. I've heard really good things from the Icarus base, about the Icarus base, from Declaration Grooming, so I can't comment on that. But, this is a luxurious feel here, and I've heard some people struggle with Stirling, but I just used my normal method and it worked just fine with no changes at all. Very smooth performance right now with the razor and blade. Very good combination, at least to my skin. That's all we can really go with is our own subjective experience, because your skin, your hair is a little different than mine, and so you'll get different results, or you are likely to get different results. Notice that I'm not gripping the whole razor, just a small section of it, so that it has room to move and not dig into my skin if I happen to be coming at it at the wrong angle or at the wrong pressure. Keep it light, very light. All right, a little half rinse. I believe that was the second pass. I'm going to end up with tons of soap here. Quarter teaspoon was definitely a little too much. Wonderful, wonderful soap. I think I stopped adding water at exactly the right moment if you want a creamy, luxurious shave. The head just holds onto the blade really well, giving you a predictable, secure feeling, to me at least. Not really stretching my skin here at all. I'm not really chasing down the elusive baby butt smooth shave, because I get too irritated if I try to go against the grain. So it is what it is. All right, I'm going to do a full rinse and take a look at the results. All right, so after 3 shaves, I see a little bit of length on some of the hairs here, which is standard after 3. An exceptional shave, an exceptional combo will give me, will let me end right here, but that usually doesn't happen. So, back to the suds. So 3 passes and then 1 partial pass here, touch up, kind of half pass. And how much soap do I have left? Probably 2 more passes, maybe 3. So I could back off on the soap quantity just a little bit. How much water did we use on this lather? Take a quick look. 3.5 teaspoons. 3.5. And like I said, I feel like I dialed this in just right. Slick, it's adhering to my skin, bonding with my skin, and so it's letting the razor and the blade just glide nicely across my skin, protecting it with slickness the whole time. So very happy with that. I feel just a little bit of irritation, kind of in this area where I probably have raked over maybe too many times or something. Probably. Nothing that a good balm wouldn't easily take care of. So, love the Guerilla. And as it turns out, the PolSilver, for me, for my skin at least, it's a great companion, great combination with the Guerilla. I'm going to pause you while I rinse this. So that pass didn't really help me all that much. It looks like to get some of those trouble spots, I might have to be just a little extra careful with my direction. I'm very purposeful with it to try to get those hairs more so than usual with this combination at least. So there's that. So while it's super comfortable, it's not quite as effective as some of the other combos that I have. Maybe that is what happened. That made me kind of take PolSilvers and kind of take them out of the running. I don't have a large stock of them like I do with Gillette Silver Blues and Feathers and Gillette Platinums. Those are, and my favorite value blade currently is either the Derby Extra or the Wilkinson Sword from India. Those are my values. So, all right, there we go. Prime time right now for the balm that we will put on, and that will help the splash not to irritate my skin too much. I'll leave this on while I clean up, let that soak in, and then hit myself with this. It's a pleasant scented splash. I like it. It's not gonna offend anybody. I'm subdued a little bit, so I will put stuff away and be back with you. So I will say that while I really enjoyed the performance of this soap, so often is the case with Stirling, this scent, while wonderful, is not very strong. I don't even remember having it be around my face that much. So I'm probably going to say it was a 1 or a 2 out of 10 in terms of scent strength. Now if I stick my nose in here, I get it. And it's maybe a 3 out of 10, but it's still kind of weak. And so maybe it's good for those of you with sensitive skin. As for me, I might like to have something a little stronger for me. I don't think this grade A TGN knot felt as wiry and as kind of as scrubby as it did in the past. Wouldn't that be interesting if this one also started out a little bit prickly, but that has all disappeared after a dozen uses or a few more. So I wonder if that scrubbiness would also disappear. All right, now time for a little test. A little bit of sting because of the alcohol. See just a little bit of redness. I think sometimes the alcohol kind of exacerbates it a little bit, draws it out more. Just a nice, pleasant scent. I like Vetiver as it turns out. And I'm confident any of this stuff will just calm down quickly because of the balm and stuff. So we're good. Excellent. Excellent shave. Very comfortable. Yeah, there are still a few hairs with length around this area, my little trouble spot area, but the cheeks feel good. 75% baby butt smooth without going against the grain there. If I was stuck with this setup, with this soap, this blade and this razor, this brush on a desert island for 20 years, I wouldn't have a problem with that. With that kind of comfort and a reasonable shave that I get. Most people just aren't going to notice the few little guys hanging out. In addition to the fact that you can work on your technique, perhaps, and take care of those guys. So, very happy with it all the way around. All right. Yeah, the vetiver. That's an interesting ingredient. I just got a whiff of it, and so many other kind of scents come to mind. You can see why it's a good base for so many masculine type scents. It's not super masculine itself, but it's just kind of got some body to it. It's got a fresh, kind of not really flowery, kind of more grassy, but with just a little hint of not just grass, you know. So that's enjoyable. I can see why it's used so often. There we go. So that's Vetivursday for the lather games. I hope that something in this video was helpful for you. That's why I put them out. Take care. Have a good night.